My brothers and sisters of the beloved online community, welcome again to our series of Lenten poems brought to you by the Anglican Diocese of Belize. I'm Deacon Sue Harris, and today I've chosen for you in this series, I believe the oldest poem that we've chosen, and this is a poem from 1648, the 17th century, but I chose it because I found it extremely accessible. The poem is called To Keep a True Lent, and it's by poet Robert Herrick, who was also a clergyman. And he is not a metaphysical poet. Metaphysical poetry tends to be somewhat difficult to understand, particularly if you're listening to it rather than reading it. However, Herrick's poem is very, very simple, and I'm going to read it and then we'll have a little commentary. So, To Keep a True Lent by Robert Herrick. Is this a fast? To keep the larder lean and clean from the fat of veals and sheep? Is it to quit the dish of flesh, yet still to fill the platter high with fish? Is it to fast an hour, or ragg'd go, or show a downcast look and sour? No, 'tis a fast to dole thy sheaf of wheat and meat unto the hungry soul. It is to fast from strife and old debate and hate, to circumcise thy life, to show a heart grief-rent, to starve thy sin, not bin, and that's to keep thy Lent. So you can see in this poem that Herrick is saying something that I think many of us say and feel. It's all very well to abstain from meat and then, as he says, fill the platter high with fish. That's really not the spirit of Lent, just to give up chocolate or alcohol or something that we like doing, maybe to abstain from social media, although all those things are good. It's much more important to be feeding our souls rather than starving our bodies. I like the verse that Lent is to fast from strife, in other words, to stop arguing and old debate. Let those bygones be bygones. Forget hate and circumcise thy life. In other words, cut off those things. Strife, old beefs, hate that might be really hurting you. Fast from those, stop those. Don't worry too much about not eating chocolate. Worry more about looking after your soul. And as he says, to show a heart grief-rent, so true contrition. Starve your sin, not bin. In other words, not put it in a box somewhere, because you can eat that chocolate, that wine later on. You can save it for later, but starve your sin so it doesn't come back. And that, as Herrick says, is to keep your Lent. So I really like that poem. I've only just found it, and I do encourage you to have a read and a think and a prayer about that great Lenten poem. And I do hope you've been enjoying this series, and God bless you, my brothers and sisters.